Live from San Antonio, Mike Taylor.
You bet your ass. Yes. Look at us back in here the next day.
It's a miracle.
Kicking ass. Show number 5 of our redo. Show number 84 overall. How do we ever get through 84? It's a miracle. Here we are, man. Thank you to McFinnigan's. We had a good time last night for the NBA draft watch party, and then we had our show, and we had Pride Night out there. Shout out to Ruben and Tucker. You boys know who you are. I called Tucker this morning at his hotel in Chicago.
Oh, what kind of shape was he in?
Hey, dude, how'd it go last night?
Yeah, I figured.
I looked at the numbers. It looked great. It was a great night, thanks. Yeah, that was pretty much what you got out of the co-owner of McFinnigan's last night. Thank you, man, for everybody that showed up out there last night and hung out with us. And once again, man, Thunderdome just continues to support our endeavors, and I highly appreciate that. And it was worth coming out tonight for sure, as we all celebrated last night, not just as a bar, but as a town, as a city. And as we get on the air with you this morning at 10 a.m., as we do these, you're fine.
At noon start.
What would you do if we had to go back to 6 a.m.? I used to do this show at 6 o'clock in the morning back in the old days of the corporate radio world. You just quit. You wouldn't make it.
I mean, there's an easy answer to that
just
question.
Wouldn't do
I
it.
just wouldn't do it.
It warms my heart to know how loyal you are to this little fledgling band. But here we are. We're all three in the room, and we're all happy. We're tired but happy. And as we get on the air this morning, Wemby is on his way here, literally. Hopped on an airplane in New York this morning, and he's headed to San Antonio, Texas, his new home. He's supposed to get here around 1:30. You want to know where he's going to be? You want to go out and screw with him? No, I don't, but people will.
I was about to say.
Don Harris tweeted this. That's where I first saw it a little while ago. Let's see. He's going to be arriving around 1:30. Let's see. Yeah, so Don Harris tweeted. So if this is wrong, you blame Don. Wemby will arrive at the private jet terminal. Signature North is what they call it, just after 1:30 for those who want to welcome him, i.e. stalk the dude. So we'll get Wembanyama in San Antonio images today. You know, it's been a dream for a couple of years as we found out that he was going to be a player and was going to be a stud and the new hotness to come to the NBA. And then it became apparent, God, 2 years ago, at least to me, that there's a possibility the Spurs have the top pick when this kid's ready to get drafted. And lo and behold, it's happened. So he's been something of a Bigfoot legend, you know what I mean? Because he's been playing in France. We don't see him play. You see highlights and stuff. I guess he played in the States last year against Scoot Henderson's team, and he kicked ass, played a couple of games over the weekend. But outside of that...
Also against now Spurs City Sissoko's team.
Correct.
He was on that same G League Ignite.
Ignite so and such. But he's been a bit of a Bigfoot legend. And so today around 1:30 when he touches down... Dare I say this is the biggest San Antonio arrival for a dignitary since who? Timmy? It's bigger than Obama, right? We've had presidents come through here that weren't that big a deal. Trump's come through here.
Haven't we had the Pope come through here?
Long time. Yeah, way back in the day, in the late 80s.
That's the answer.
The Pope?
It's the closest since the Pope came to town.
I got in trouble. I was at Charles E. Nash Elementary School, and my teacher, I think it was I want to say I was in the 5th or maybe 6th grade. Maybe, I forget if it was junior high or elementary. The teacher that day wanted to watch the Pope in San Antonio.
Why?
And I got my ass in trouble and sent to the office because I asked the same question, being me.
Sure, yeah.
Why do we have to spend all day watching the poop? And I said it just like that. Oh, my God, she was so offended.
You would have thought you had...
I called him the poop.
Correct, yeah.
You know, I got that joke that morning from my dad who dropped me off at school that day. He mentioned that the poop was going to be in Texas. So I just chronicled my father.
Just used the material that was available to you.
So, no, I'm stoked, man. It's a huge thing, and we'll get into it, obviously. That'll be a big part of what we do this morning. And me and Nina were talking yesterday about, like, where are the places... He's 7'5", man, with shoes on. Where are the places in this town that have enough ceiling space for him? Because there's a lot of places he's not going to be able to get into comfortably. Like, y'all go to Amore Eterno all the time.
Yeah,
he
you
can't
ain't
walk
going
in
in
there.
there.
He ain't going in there.
There are places. There are a lot of places that when I walk in,
Right.
I worry about hitting my head.
Right.
This is an entire foot and an inch taller than me.
Right. I mean, I don't want him to have to just go to swanky restaurants all the time. He ought to be able to do some poodle stuff. So maybe y'all should jump in there with the chat. See, this is I'm learning how to do this show.
Yeah, picking it up.
Jump in there on the super chat and give us a tip, and let us know what are the best places that he'll be able to go comfortably, and what are the worst places he'll be able to go comfortably. He ain't going to Amore Eterno. You ever been to the downstairs speakeasy at the Esquire Tavern? Because I know you live near downtown.
With the giant gar on the walls.
Yeah, I know you can't go. You probably have a hard time yourself
It's
in
a little
there.
rough. Yeah, that's one of
you
the
move
places.
your big ass arm this direction, and two beer mugs fall over.
Pretty much.
He ain't going in there. But there's some badass places that are going to have ceilings high enough for him to fit in. Oh, so look, I'm stoked, man. I'm retired, but it's just, it feels like, you know what it feels like? It feels like the morning after they won a playoff series.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Not a championship, but a playoff series.
Yeah, maybe
a second round series.
Yeah, maybe it's 4 years of them not being any good, being under 500, 2 years of screwing around with less than veterans after the Kawhi Leonard trade and going 33 and 40 something, just square peg in a round hole, right dead middle center of the conference standings. Which was no bueno for anybody, and then of course the two bad seasons that culminate this year with having the worst record, and then winding up with this kid. I mean, and as I said, I was driving over here today to LG Studios, thinking, and I said we got into this a little bit last night. And of course I'm biased, but I'm right. I don't think just based on the city, where we are geographically, him being a Frenchman. And then throw that in with the organization, from the Holtz to the Dells to the other billionaires that own this team, to the administration, to RC, to Brian Wright, to Pop, through the last man on the roster, the organization. I just don't think God couldn't have picked a better place for him to go to. And that makes me sound like a cocky San Antonian. It's the truth, though. It is. Okay, no matter who had drafted him last night, he's going to wind up being a multi-all-star man.
If his body holds up. It wasn't a matter of what.
Well, that's with everybody. That's with everybody.
Right.
I know we can talk. A lot's been said about his frame, but I just don't think just the whole package, man. You could not have picked a better town, better team for this kid to come and be a legend. Look, I'm sure he's happy no matter what, but I don't know that he's not this ecstatic if the fucking Pistons are the team drafted him last night. You imagine him going to Detroit, he'd be miserable.
Or how about the Rockets, who he actively, openly celebrated when they got the fourth pick?
Well, when they pulled Houston 4, he's like, yes. Cool.
All right, I don't have to go to Houston.
I think I will go back to Paris. I will not go to Houston. Pretty cool, man. And so we're going to talk about Wemby shit for the next 10 years. Pop, it's the first time we actually had a chance for Pop to go on the record and address him. Pop couldn't because of rules and such, but Pop was raving last night. I don't know if you boys saw any of the late night press conference, but
no, educate me.
Pop was raving about his intellect and his emotional maturity.
He's the totem of his universe.
You've been calling him that. He is the totem of his
calls
universe.
Himself
I know. Well, we should all be our own totems of our universes, right?
I'm not arguing against the validity of what he said.
But you're being goofy about it. Thank you, The Drew Show. Just donated $10 in the super chat. Thank you, Holmes.
Good dude.
So, no, Pop was raving seriously last night about Wembanyama's intellect, about his emotional maturity, and his ability to handle the hype, too, which is a huge thing. And Pop was saying, Pop said he doesn't need to offer Wembanyama very much advice in that area, And by the way, we all were under the I don't know what the word. We all thought that Pop had gone to France after they won the lottery.
Yeah, it was reported in multiple.
He didn't.
Huh.
All Pop said was he's talked to him on the phone a bunch. So it's been phone conversations. Now the Spurs have sent people out there, including their medical people. So. It's already been a relationship, but he'll officially become a Spur, I guess, tomorrow. There's a press conference, but he'll be in town. Obviously, he's going to sign a contract soon.
Yeah.
But he's a Spur.
He'll sign it.
Now that
and
he's a
then do the
Spur,
press
they can
conference.
talk about it and stuff like that. It's funny just seeing him last night. All we have to go on are what ESPN's showing us last night. And I've looked at a few YouTube interviews he's done in the last couple of years or whatever. But I have to remind myself he's 19.
Right.
19-year-old kids, they change month to month. So anything he did 2 years ago on YouTube, it's all
you're not taking anything
correct.
from that.
So I'm just trying to read body language, and he's tearing up and everything, which was great. But just seeing him last night a little bit, his reaction, just trying to read body language. This all could be bullshit, but I pride myself on my ability to read body language. Your body language right now says hangover.
My body language says I'm in great shape, buddy. Great.
No,
shape.
but so I just, as I'm watching him last night interact with the media, interact with Jeremy Sohan, who just kept hanging out and stuff. There was a moment that got out last night on Twitter where Sohan was just chilling in the hall, like in the bowels of the Barclays Center, and they happened to bring Wembanyama around the corner, so they both kind of, oh, hey, dude, it's you again. And so they get up and they have this quick little moment, and the first thing Sohan says, it's so hot. It's very hot. And he's like, I don't care. I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
And he's just making small talk with Wembanyama, dude, because they're like, hey, what's up, teammate? Give each other the bro hug, bro. It's very, you're going to love, Sohan says something to the effect of, this is awesome, you're going to love it, but it's very hot. And he's like, I don't care.
Oh, okay.
He said, I think something along the lines of, I wanted to go to a city that had a lot of sun, whatever. So what does that mean? Nothing. But just watching all of his interactions together.
Interpret the body language here for
Here's
me.
the body language interpretation. This guy's got no time for bullshit. He understands he's bigger than Jeremy Sohan. He's bigger than Keldon Johnson. He's not going to be an arrogant asshole, but he's got no time for bullshit. Like, Sohan's like, oh, dude, it's so hot. He's like, oh, dude, I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Cool. It's hot. Dude, this is where I want to be. I'm hyped. Give me some more hugs, bro. And now the work begins. As we got into last night, now that the euphoria of the moment is over, the work has begun. How to spend all of these free agent dollars, what to do with what to do with the draft picks, which they took another kid last night, traded one. Who on the current roster stays, who goes. They've got a shit ton of money in free agency. It is all about, and this is what we got into last night, some if you didn't see it. And Puma made a great point last night. The last couple of years of them tanking has been about just go get assets. Just bring in kids who can play ball.
Yeah, it doesn't matter the fit. Doesn't
Right.
Just accumulate as many assets as you can that the rest of the league will value.
Every single thing henceforth is about Wemby. And Keldon Johnson's not going anywhere, I don't think. But if they determine Keldon Johnson's not the best fit with Wembanyama, Keldon Johnson's out of here. Everything they do for the next decade is all going to be in Victor Wembanyama's image, like Jesus.
Okay.
We're taught to live in his image too, Puma. Not me. I live in Victor Wembanyama's image.
You live in the poops image.
As evidenced by today's bootleg shirt that I'm still wearing from last night.
Okay, I wasn't going to say
Doesn't
anything.
smell great.
I'm glad you
just got God knows how many people's germs
You
on
talk
it.
about my body language speaking
I
volumes.
like this shirt, and I'm pimping it out for a homie, so... I'm a hustler now. Everything I do is for sale, man. Everything.
I thought you had just pawned the rest of your wardrobe and we're down to one shirt.
That's when it's funny because it feels like keep bringing Tim Duncan back up. So, my first move to town in 2007, it didn't take me more than about one day to realize that everything the Spurs do is about how it fits in with Tim Duncan. Why didn't you bring this this guy was a free agent and he had interest in coming here. Why didn't you bring him in? Because he didn't fit in with Timmy. Everything is about Tim Duncan. Everything henceforth is about Wembanyama. So, they need a great pick and roll partner. It's a massive need. It's hard to think Trey Jones will be that dude forever. Do they go out and bring in Fred Van Fleet in free agency? Again, it depends on if Fred Van Fleet can fit in with the organization and fit in with Wembanyama. And he's not a bruiser. So they may need some of that next to him. Maybe you go bring Jakob Poeltl back in here. I don't know.
Well,
it's all about Wembanyama now, man.
Part of that last night was announced when Brian Wright said they are absolutely picking up the team option on Zach Collins. So there's another bruiser coming back, like you said.
Yeah. It's not like he can't rebound and block shots and protect the rim, but he's thin.
He's going to get bodied for a while.
Yeah. The dude in Denver is going to body his ass out. You brought up Brian Wright, which we got into this too last night. And the question was posed, if Brian Wright were to walk into McFinnigan's right now and sit at the bar and buy a beer, would we even know that was the Spurs GM Brian Wright? We all know what R.C. Buford looks like. Brian Wright now, I said this a couple of years ago, that now we can start judging Brian Wright. Once I realized that R.C. Buford really was just the CEO of SSE, and this organization now belongs to Brian Wright. Cool. How long does it take you to get good? Well, now how long does it take you to start winning a lot of games around this kid that fell into your lap? I say that. That's not fair. He did fall into the ping pong ball fell your way, but Brian Wright geniusly situated this franchise to have the chance to have that ping pong ball fall the way that it did. And you mentioned this last night. Right now, it's a high probability he's the GM of the year next year. Not just because of the ping pong ball falling his way. He put this franchise in position to be here. Yeah, and it just happened to pay off.
And you mentioned conversation front runner to win GM of the year now just because of the Wemby pick. Mm-hmm. I was suggesting that. With the idea that they might have actually been serious about trading back up into the lottery, because if they had brought in a second impact guy in the top part of the draft, that would have further showcased Brian, and it could have turned out to backfire and be a massive waste of future assets if they had done it. But trading the 33rd pick for two again, add to it what Petrini say with 12 future second-round picks. So now 14 future second-round. They had to have come up through the same U17, U19 teams in France.
Educate me how much ever you can on, what's his first name?
City.
That's how City Sissoko.
Sidy, I think.
That sounds like a DJ in a rock bar.
Sounds
DJ
like
City Sissoko.
There it is. Yeah, exactly. There it is. Hey, it's City Sissoko.
All right, so, again, you know why they drafted him? Because they have Victor Wembanyama. Everything they do is about Wemby.
Right.
So, can he play? I'm assuming the answer is yeah. He's a second-round pick. Nothing's guaranteed. But he's a French kid who's lived in the States for a year.
Right.
And might be able to help Wemby just from that standpoint, being an American.
And again, right? I mean, I think he definitely can help in that sense, but I don't think that has probably
coincidental that he's French.
I think it's coincidental more of the fact that he's a 19-year-old prospect who was expected to be a mid-first round draft pick when he signed to play for the G League Ignite.
Yeah, and then
for some reason the league soured on him after a year of playing in the G League, which a 19-year-old kid, I think he's like 6'7", 6'8", athletic, more of a potential typical or stereotypical 3D, 3-and-D kind of guy. I mean, corner shot a lower percent. I think it was like 30% in the G League last year as a three-point shooter, but has a shot that projects to get better, or at least more consistent. But yeah, I mean, a guy that I think the value of getting him at 44, where they got him, 44th pick overall, that's a great risk to take. I mean, I would expect him to spend most of the year in the G League again in Austin next year. I mean, I don't think he's going to come in and be a role player
with their people, though. So that's good.
Yeah, no, but it's picking up like this. It was a great night outside of just the Wemby draft or the Wemby pick. That was a given.
The Spurs have also signed Houston's own and the former UT man, Sir Jabari Rice, on a two-way player.
Saw that.
It's interesting. He was at New Mexico for like 4 years.
Yeah, New Mexico State.
And then took an NIL deal and transferred to Texas and was part of that team that they had that went to the NCAA tournament. Okay, cool. Again, just whatever. Everything they do is gold now because 5 championships over the next 15 years are going to happen. I'm just waiting around for it to actually happen. That's my prediction. 5 titles. 5 in the next 15. You watch. One out of every 3 years we win the championship.
I was about to say that
your ass. I've already done it before.
Sure.
all right. I want your thoughts on. Well, I want your thoughts on 2 things. Just the draft overall, because once we got Wemby, I didn't give a shit anymore. I was eating hamburgers and drinking the Warriors. I don't have any thoughts on the draft, but we saw Chris Paul went to. Remember, there were some stupid rumors. The Spurs are the favorites to get Chris Paul. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. We don't want Chris Paul. He's 38. He's a little bitch. The Warriors are all the way done. You talk about desperation. Surely they're not going to field a roster next year with Draymond Green's hot-headed ass and CP3. They're done.
I would say
Steph
that's
Curry,
exactly what they're going to do.
Good luck. Good luck with that shit.
I mean, they clearly decided that Jordan Poole and Draymond cannot be on the same roster for another year.
Clearly.
And they chose Draymond.
Of course, which they always do.
And
I love him, but he's
right
toxic,
decision.
man.
Why is he toxic?
He just admitted a month ago, we never got over the Poole fight, and I feel bad about it.
But at the same time,
don't punch your fucking teammate in the mouth.
But at the same time, how many other people in that organization came out and defended Jordan Poole after that?
None. They're all scared of Draymond Green.
Or Jordan Poole needed to get punched in the mouth. And they all were kind of like, you know what? Hopefully he learned something from that. And then Jordan Poole learned jack shit from it. And so they said, all right, we got to cut bait.
There's 2 cocks in the rooster house in Golden State. And we'll see. Does Steph Curry want to spend his twilight years in the NBA having to referee hothead dudes like that? I mean, good luck to the Warriors. What's the good news for me is that's one team that I don't have to worry about anymore. As we get to that first title out of 5, they're going to win over the next 15 years.
Golden State's going to win another title with this core.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I thought you hated Chris Paul.
I do.
I defended him. You hated him. You think he's going to win a title with him?
I think this is his best shot ever. Absolutely.
Yeah. I just think chemistry is going to derail them. All right, the draft as a whole. Then we'll move on to some other shit I want to get into today.
Draft as a whole. Well, I mean, the shit portion of the draft started pretty quickly with the, 6th overall pick, Anthony Black going to Orlando. Mm-hmm. That was because
the draft came to a halt at that point.
Well,
but how many great players are in the league in this draft? 3, potentially
4. I would say potentially
the first Thompson twin.
Yeah, exactly. And even looking at Charlotte taking Brandon Miller over Scoot, that was arguably
stupid.
That was the moment where I thought, okay, this draft potentially could go completely off the rails now.
Right.
But outside of Brandon Miller going 2nd and Anthony Black going 6th, our boy Balil went 7th. We talked about potentially Spurs trying to trade back up to get Wemby's teammate. Mm-hmm. He went far before expectations, I think, for a lot of people. It felt like he was somewhere in that 10 to 14 range, ends up going 7th.
My question for you is, and we got into this last night some, because I right after you had mentioned that Scoot Henderson might not wind up playing with Damian Lillard in Portland, then I saw a quote today, Scoot saying that he hopes to be able to play with him. Because maybe they took Scoot knowing in Portland they're getting ready to move Dame Lillard.
I feel like...
to the San Antonio Spurs.
Okay.
How great would that be?
At this point, okay, so Keldon, Vassell, or Keldon, Jeremy Sohan, and 3 first-round draft picks. Yeah. Do you do that?
Well, I need to think about it.
Yeah, I don't do that.
I don't knee-jerk say no right off the top.
I think what it's going to take to get him...
I'm going to go have lunch and think about it.
I think what it's going to take to get him is not worth the alternative of having this young group grow and develop together.
Well,
because
it's a stupid hypothetical that I just brought up.
Right, but you're trying to pair a 33-year-old with a 19-year-old. Like, those timelines are not... No. You're not going to be ready to win before Dame Lillard reaches the end of his.
Yeah. Not that they're incapable of lying to us, but they've already come out and talked about how excited they are to have Wemby fit in with. They mentioned Keldon, and they mentioned Jeremy Sohan and Devin Vassell. Those kids are going to stay here.
Feels like it.
But I mean, it is Damian Lillard. So anyway, I thought it was a typical NBA draft. We got 3 or 4 or 5 real good players. Happen to have a transcendent dude at the top of it, like Wembanyama. But then after that, it became a bunch of crap shooting fish in a barrel, like most NBA drafts are.
The most unfortunate storyline, I would say, is the fall of Cam Whitmore, a dude that was projected to be when the college basketball season ended, the Villanova freshman, when the college basketball season ended, he was a absolute lock to be a top 5 player. Phrases like most all-around developed prospect in the draft were being thrown around to describe him. He was, as scouts say, the most NBA ready. He was the most plug and play. He was ready to step right into a rotation, and he ends up falling all the way to 20th. Rockets take him at 20 because of massive red flags in the medicals. Like potentially,
one nut hangs lower than the other.
We don't know.
What are we talking about?
We don't know. We haven't gotten specifics on what the holdup is, but it feels like it's got to be something of the ilk of like a Brandon Roy fear of degenerative injury issue for him to fall that precipitously.
Brandon Roy, what a sad story.
That's a rough one.
Oof.
That's a rough one.
It hit me right in the gut. I love that.
Brandon Roy could have been a top 75 player all time in league history.
Yeah, for sure. What's he doing now? Fishing? Watching Dame Lillard make baskets for his old team?
I want to say
broadcasting?
Yeah, or coaching or something.
Yeah,
he's still involved, I think.
Sucks. All right, this show brought to you by R&R Auto Glass.
Hey.
We have, look at we got sponsors, R&R Auto Glass, baby. Long-time sponsor, has continued to stay with me. Thought we were good. I was taking a big old risk, getting off regular old corporate radio, but boy, we got some faithful people, and R&R being one of them. Thank God, too, because they're a damn good company. Many of you boys in Thunderdome over the years have often used R&R, or at least once. Everybody in this room has gone to R&R Auto Glass because the odds are inevitably, if you drive the same car long enough, at some point you're going to need to replace the windows in your car. Whether it is the front windshield, the sunroof, they'll use sunroofs too, side windows, back windows, whatever it is you need. Centrally located, too. No matter where you live in San Antonio, Texas, or the greater area, you can get to them quick. They're right there by the airport at 281 in Tacoma. And mention me. And as always, you can get the Taylor Especial. They will give you a discount at R&R Auto Glass when you mention me. Hell, mention Puma or LG or the show or whatever, and they'll know what you're talking about, and they'll give you a hookup. It is R&R Auto Glass. Ain't no place to go to get your glass fixed in this city, but independently owned, Poodle San Antonio's own R&R Auto Glass. All right.
Brandon Roy?
Yeah.
Has won 4 state championships coaching high school basketball.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, I thought that.
Is he coaching in Washington?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
And he was the Blazers representative at the draft lottery this year.
Okay.
That's why it's Brandon Roy is back top of the mind.
I was so distracted by hoping that we got the one. I didn't even realize that was Brandon Roy.
Yeah, listening to Mr. Holt screaming on stage. Let's go!
Let's go!
Let's go!
Let's go! That's all. That was all of us.
It was great.
He was a fan. By the way, speaking of R&R Auto Glass and this show and its new endeavors, if you would like to partner with this show, hit me up, man. We have many opportunities to support this show beyond super chats on our during our daily live show, which we love you hard for doing that. But we've got some serious package opportunities if you want to be a part of this show. And when you become a part of our show as a sponsor, I don't even like the word sponsor. You become a partner. You become a business partner in this endeavor. We're investing money together. Hit me up, man. We have a lot of different package opportunities from title sponsor, in which Puma will come over and wear Daisy Dukes with no shirt and wash your car if you sign a title sponsorship with us.
Yeah, that's just a Tuesday for
Easy
me.
peasy. All the way from title sponsorships to live spot opportunities like you just heard me do for R&R Auto Glass. And I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody how much it costs. Why not? I'm going to put it out there. It's $1,000 for a month's worth of live reads. 20 shows for a K. That's it. So hit me up. If you want to partner with this show and get live spots done, DM me. Reach into my stuff. Okay. Here's another buddy. Not a sponsor, but he's a buddy. You boys have all met Adam Montalvo, my friend with Mexicana.
Oh, yeah. Good dude.
We've all eaten at his restaurant. He started a restaurant a couple of months back called Mexicana, Mxicanna. It is an infused Mexican restaurant in which they will put stuff in your food if you want them to. It's a good Mexican restaurant in and of its own right. We just ate there 2 nights ago. I didn't have the infusion. I just went with regular plate. I had the Teja style paella. Oh, so good.
What all was in it?
Bunch of good shit.
Okay.
I feel like you're pronouncing the name of the restaurant wrong. You said Mexicana.
It's Canna.
It's Mexicana.
My fault.
Cannabis.
I know.
Cannabis.
I get that. I'm trying to get that out of my. I've said Mexicana all my life.
See, and that's why
it's Mexicana. That's why they have 2 N's in it.
So,
it's spelled the way because it's Mexicana.
And the way I remember is not the cannabis. I go full redneck voice and let's go to that Mexicana place.
And I just assumed you're saying Mexicana.
Right.
You just don't know how to say it.
Right.
But it really is Mexicana. You're right about that. My fault, LG. So Adam's one of the co-owners of this place. Now, let me finish what I was saying. You can have, what I mean by infusion, they have meals over there that have Delta-8 in it, hemp, THCO, okay? I'm no expert on the science of this. These are the things they put in some of the food products over there. You can go with or without it, all right? And they've taken off in the last couple of 3 months. And we were having dinner the other night, and Adam was there. And he came over and sat down with us, and he shared with me the story of his dad. I bet y'all didn't know this either. I'm going to read you a letter, and he sent me a copy of the letter. Can you see that? That's San Antonio Spurs letterhead.
Yeah.
All right, the Spurs letterhead.
What's the date at the top of that?
August 24th, 1973. Damn. Think about the timeline of that.
Yeah.
They had just left Dallas, had just decided to come play in San Antonio with that old school group that led by Red McCombs that brought them down here. And this says, Dear Mr. Val Montalvo, this is a letter to our buddy's dad at the time. Dear Montalvo.
Well, he's still his dad. It's a letter from the time, not his dad at the time.
Right. At the time,
right.
The letter was written. This was written to his dad.
There we go.
Hey, man.
It sounded weird.
He didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
That was his dad at the time. Well, no, he's always his dad.
Didn't get a shit ton of sleep. So it's Mr. Val Montalvo. Thank you for helping to name the San Antonio Professional Basketball Club. Let me stop right there. So Adam's father helped name the franchise the Spurs. It's on the record. This is in the annals of the history of the team. Our buddy Adam's father named them the Spurs. They liked his suggestion.
I was about to say, was it like a fan, like send in your ideas?
They put it out, give us some ideas on what to call the new team coming to San Antonio. So I'll read the whole thing. It's short. Thank you for helping to name the San Antonio Professional Basketball Club. As a result of your suggestion, Spurs, we'd like you to be our guest on opening night. The Spurs open the 73-74 season October the 10th at 7:30 p.m.
in the Kansas City Royals
in the Hemisphere Arena. As tickets are not yet available, I will be mailing them to you at a later date. We hope that you will be able to attend many of our games throughout the season. Sincerely, Jack Ankerson, General Manager.
Wow.
Mr. Ankerson was the first GM we had, and they put a thing out to fans. Help us name the new team. We don't want to call it what do they call the Shaps?
The Chaparrals, yeah.
We don't want it to be the Shaps anymore, and our buddy Adam's father sent in Spurs, and they liked it and chose it.
That's insane.
Unbelievable.
That's awesome that he has that documented proof of that as well.
Oh, yeah, this is Spurs
because
letterhead.
That's one of those stories that you're at a bar downtown. It's 1:30 a.m. getting ready for the last call, and there's a guy in there just telling everybody, "No, I swear, my dad was the guy that he named them the Spurs. He's the guy." And you're just like,
how many people say that?
Right,
lots,
thousands,
yep,
thousands across this city, and to have the actual documented evidence, proof that with the name, I mean.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's one of the cooler pieces of San Antonio lore or history I've ever seen.
So Ken's 5 just did a piece on this. And so I'm not going to read you the whole thing. It says Montalvo said, they went and talked to Adam. His dad's passed. So Montalvo said that his father had several names in mind, but kept going back to the Spurs. I just like the Spurs. I'm going to send Spurs. His dad thought about it.
I was sitting here thinking chupacabras or Spurs.
Culebras, rattlesnakes, Spurs. Yeah, Spurs. And Adam told Kins, I think it was a variety of things, being from South Texas and being Tejano. While he said his father loved the name, he did not expect it to be chosen. Oh, we were hysterical, says Montalvo. He was on cloud 9. As a result, his dad got tickets to the season opener at Hemisphere Arena and eventually bought season tickets on his own. We would go to the games with him all the time. Montalvo said from there his entire family became fanatics. He still has tickets from that first season in San Antonio that he's saved.
So cool.
As he looks back on all of his memories being a fan, he is also looking forward to the next chapter in the franchise's history. This is just the beginning again, or the rebirth of a really good dynasty, Adam said. So hopefully that comes to fruition. Yeah, so our buddy's father named them the Spurs. Now that's some serious-ass credibility right there. Shoot, we know the dude whose dad named them. Shit, you got to listen to what we say. So shout out to Adam and all the boys at Mexicana. I'll never screw that up again, LG. Thank you. All right, our little venture we're doing here got some love today. I wanted to mention that before we move on. That Barrett Sports Media. So Barrett Sports Media, basically, it's a website and a podcast and a blog for radio honks like us. Even though we're not technically in radio anymore, Barrett Sports decided to do a piece on me and the decision to do this little venture on its own. You boys got some love in the article too, by the way. Although the guy that wrote the piece did not call you Sam Freeze, he just called you Puma. That's all he just.
Come on, guy.
So send this to your dad.
Come on, buddy.
Send this to George.
Do you think that's on my fucking birth certificate? Give me some credit here.
You ever heard of a dude called Tyler McComas?
Oh, yeah.
I think he's in Oklahoma.
He is, yeah.
Tyler called me a couple of days ago, and he one of the questions he asked me, hey, Puma going with you? And at the time, this was last week, I thought you were, but I wasn't for sure. So clearly he knows you. I'm like, oh, he's just calling you Puma like everybody else does, but I didn't know he was going to refer to you that in the piece.
It's probably for the better. I don't need my full name, legal name in print too often.
It says, things are scary but exciting scary for Mike Taylor. He'll tell you that the fear is a healthy one, even though he's taken the biggest risk of his professional life. After over 2 decades of success on the radio, Taylor's ditching the terrestrial dial for podcasting and weekday YouTube shows. By the way, this is a radio blog. For them to write about us no longer being in radio is pretty cool. And that's what I told this guy. I said, it's time for you people like y'all to cover broadcasters, cover talk shows. Radio's just one thing anyway. So it says, why now? What made this the right time to chase the ability to be his own boss? Taylor says, I got a couple of, and they got some quotes on me in there. It's quite the gamble for someone, it says, that had the security of a salary that Taylor did. Now the success or failure of his new venture largely rests on his own shoulders. But Taylor's going to work for his success the same way he did when he was on the radio, with relationships and keeping his content local San Antonio. Even though the format's changing, don't expect a different Taylor. And that's true. Most of our listeners and the viewers we have, 95% of you are right here. So we're going to talk Spurs and Cowboys and Longhorns and everything else after that better be fucking good. Says the thought of leaving radio and taking his content digital had been weighing on Taylor's mind for a few years. It really started to kick up last year when he sporadically started to podcast and live stream, which resulted in a few extra bucks in his pocket. Taylor started to wonder what things could possibly look like if he did it on a regular basis. Another quote from me. An interesting aspect, it says, of the move is that a new era for Taylor coincides with a new era for the Spurs. But the opportunity to draft Victor Wembanyama, Spurs fans are incredibly excited for what the future holds. A familiar face will be along with Taylor. His longtime sidekick Puma will be on the show as well.
Did they at least capitalize the P?
No, that's your name. God. It's like you're a fucking soccer player.
But I don't even get. Oh, it's just lowercase p, Puma?
No, it's capital P.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I'll take it.
A familiar face will be along with Taylor, his longtime sidekick, Puma will be on the show as well. The two have incredible chemistry and will bring that to their new format. Taylor says also we have another guy, DJ LG is what we call him. So you just got DJ LG. I mean, well, that's it.
All right, I'll take it. I'll take it.
That's badass.
Again, the more I think about it,
Yeah.
I'm probably better off having my full legal name not in a lot of print publications.
There was a time Taylor was doing his radio show in San Antonio from Hawaii, but with the new venture, he's moved back home. Taylor wanted to have boots on the ground every day now that he's trying to sell his own product to make ends meet. Boy, am I. Mike Taylor Live will stream every weekday morning at 10 a.m. That's the case for a couple of reasons. One, Taylor believes in putting out his content early in the day for people to have plenty of time to consume it. Two, it allows him an opportunity to find another job in the afternoon if the new venture doesn't immediately take off.
Is that in the article?
Yeah.
That's in the
and it ends with a quote. I'll read you my own quote. To be honest with you, I say, I have enough provisions to feed me until August, but as of right now, I don't know how I'm going to eat on August the 1st, laughed Taylor.
You sound like a French-Canadian beaver trapper.
We're running out of oxygen here.
I've got enough provisions till August, but
I did.
After that,
I've got food.
We're going to have to brave the elements. Go barter some pelts.
Yeah, as soon as winter gets here, boy, it's going to be tough. And I put the point here is I might need to get a 9-to-5 job. If we do our show in the morning, it's done. It gets out there and you can go get it as a consumer. But no bullshit. It also allows me to work a day job if I need to. So, yes, I do have enough provisions to get to August, but that's about it. So if you want to partner with this show, please help me buy more provisions to get me through August.
You're talking like an Oregon Trail character.
Pretty much. Well, I don't know. The dude called me on the phone. I was in the car, so I just said what came to my head. So thanks for the publicity, man. We need all the publicity that we can get. All right, what else is going on? Oh, I wanted to say real quickly, I don't want to spend too much time on it. We're getting low on time, but
we're not going to have time for Orca talk.
Oh, fucking A, I forgot about the orcas. All right, let's get into it, but I just wanted to say, because I'm going to forget, as a Gen Xer, we had a big death this week. Did you boys notice the Gen X band badass that we lost this week?
Who am I?
This is Gen X. This is deep base. This is inside. This is deep
baseball.
baseball.
I thought I saw a headline. It was a drummer.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't remember the band.
No,
but I do remember seeing a headline.
The longtime drummer of the Butthole Surfers.
No, Trinity's own, formed in a Trinity dorm room here in town.
Teresa Nervosa died.
I missed that completely.
Yeah. So Teresa Nervosa, whose actual name was Teresa Taylor, no relation, went into Davy Jones' locker this week at the age of 60.
60?
She was only 60, man. She had a lot of health problems. It's the reason why she left the band to begin with. You know, she wasn't there. Teresa was one of the original players of the band when they got rolling. Yeah, you're right. The two founding members met at Trinity University. One of the kids that founded the band was from Dallas. His dad was Mr. Peppermint.
Yep.
Right, and they found this crazy girl drummer from Arlington, brought her ass down here, and they all wound up living in Austin after the band got bigger and started touring and stuff. But she had health problems even back then in her 20s and wound up leaving the band because of it, and the band took off. It had more commercial success after Teresa left the band, but there was a clear difference, and she was not easy to replace. So at my senior year of high school, they had a record that came out called Independent Worm Saloon, which had a real good tune called Who Was in My Room Last Night, as I recall. And then, of course, their big radio hit came out later in the 90s, I want to say, 98, 99. There was a tune called Pepper. Y'all remember Pepper?
It was a little earlier than that, wasn't it?
Look that up, Pepper by Butthole Surfers.
Yeah.
Eddie Vedder used to wear a Butthole Surfers T-shirt on stage for early Pearl Jam concerts back in the day. But shout out to all the guys and surviving members of Butthole Surfers.
Yeah, that was 96.
Okay, 96.
That was early.
All right, Teresa's passed on. So
what's
that's it.
Devil in Houston? That's another great Butthole Surfers song.
Yeah. Good band, man. And 60 years old is too damn young to be dying. All right. You wanted to talk about orcas.
Let's save that.
You sure?
Yeah.
You think it's like a 30-minute conversation?
Well, no.
We had Wembanyama get drafted last night, man. I forgot.
That's why, yeah.
You know what? I'm going to write it down. Look, Orcas Talk on Monday. All caps so we get to it. Because this is an evergreen topic that'll still have some legs or some fins on Monday.
Yeah, and I believe there was an incident that just happened.
That's correct. Yeah. And
Good
we need
Lord.
and
it's
we
like
need
every
to,
damn day.
We need to recap the.
Well, what do you have to say on it? I mean, I have a lot of thoughts, but what are you going to say? The Coast Guard found debris.
Yeah.
You're talking about the
Of
little
course,
submarine?
yes. Yeah.
From the lost sub in the North Atlantic, rich people going down there to check out the Titanic, and the Coast Guard called it a catastrophic implosion. The good news on that is maybe they just went quick.
Milliseconds. Milliseconds. You're literally just looking out the window, and then it's over.
Yeah.
Like you're not feeling anything from that. But it makes me wonder.
Oh God, what?
Like, what does that physically do to your body? I mean, were they like?
Your feces probably flies out.
I mean, I think, are you just like pure liquefied?
I don't know. Like the dude on
yeah,
Raiders of the Lost
exactly.
Ark.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do we want to know?
No.
Why
no.
are you asking?
Well, because I'm curious. I grew up going to Rotten.com, and I've got questions.
I don't know what this. It's a horrible thing. I think, and we all agree. If we were given the hypothetical of choose your adventure. And this is before the accident, by the way. Go down on a little sub to see the wreckage of the Titanic or circumnavigate the Earth on the space shuttle one time and come back.
Send me up.
Absolutely, right? And I love the ocean, but I'm not going down to the bottom of the motherfucker.
No.
The good Lord didn't give us the ability to swim that long. Of course, he didn't give us the ability to go to space either without being in a ship, but that's just a lot safer. Give me the orbiting of the Earth. Lawrence gets real seasick easy, apparently, right? Aren't you, bad on boats?
Really?
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
watercrafts.
Yeah, pretty bad. Yeah.
Like bad.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, it happens pretty much guaranteed every time I'm going to throw up.
Well,
If we ever do a television travel show, you just wiped out half my ideas.
I'll be fine.
We'll
I
hire
love
a
going
slappy.
out on the water, so
Okay,
I endure it. As soon as I throw up, I'm fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
once I get it all out, let's party. Let's go.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
so just
that's
blow
best.
chunks one time and you're fine the rest of
That's
the time.
correct.
Okay,
exactly.
well, then to hell with
Okay.
Dramamine
Well, then,
and
yeah.
staring at the horizon.
Yeah,
just
just-
blow the chunks and
yeah.
let's go, baby. Okay, cool. I thought
You created your own shark chum.
I have.
And when y'all
I
were
got
cage
very
diving.
seasick. Yeah, I went shark diving and Ralphed in the cage. You just see my floating vomit in the shark, and it brought more sharks to the
Your
cage.
stomach had a catastrophic implosion.
I tried to write it off to my sister because she was with me. I did that on purpose so you could see some more sharks.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She didn't go for it.
I was trying to make this really worth our time and effort
All right,
getting
God
out
Almighty.
here.
All right, so Orcas talk Monday, right? By then, the Wemby initial date will have worn off.
Yeah, we'll have something else to pair with it. by then.
Well, you and I are going to go out to the press conference tomorrow, probably. And then Monday we'll come in here and overreact to the press conference.
Je
Talk about
m'appelle
orcas.
Sam.
Je m'appelle Sam.
Como tu t'appelles?
Go eat at Mexicana when you get a chance. It's great. And they'll infuse it with whatever you need on there. So good times. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that. Thanks, everyone that showed up last night out to McFinnigan's.
Yes.
Thanks to everybody that watched this or will watch it in the future. We'll post what will be posted on YouTube and Spotify and iHeart and all that bit. A lot of y'all are commenting, and I'm reading them, and I appreciate it. Keep it coming in. You can even make comments on the Spotify page. Did you know you can comment on Spotify?
No.
Yeah, there's people commenting on there. I just found that
Need
out
to go
today.
check it.
All right, so y'all watch it and listen to it. Subscribe to it for free. Reach out to me if you want to be a partner. Love y'all hard. Have a great weekend. We'll see you in here on Monday. Later. Come back, you puppy!